Good evening and welcome to MC Live right here on MC 77. I'm Brian Schermeyer.
And I'm JC Seltzer. We've got a packed show lined up for tonight. First up, we have Caitlin Beam from the Loft Bible Study to fill us in on what they've been up to this semester. And then Josh Stanley and Travis Porterfield from the Digital Media Senior Seminar Constellation here to tell us what they've created.
Following that, we have Sean Sukum and Aknahar from Ambassadors here to tell us what they do here on campus. Then Caleb McClanahan Schlepp and Emily Kauser are here to tell us about the wilderness trips the Adventure Ed program is hosting.
Don't forget, you can ask questions on our Instagram, or if you're watching our YouTube live stream, leave your questions in the live comments. You won't want to miss tonight's show. Be right back after the break.
United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community. Will you?
Welcome back to MC Live here on MC 77. We are joined by leader Caitlin Beam from the Loft Bible Study. How are you tonight, Caitlin?
I'm good, how are you?
That's great. So can you tell us just what the Loft is in general for someone who may not know?
So the Loft is an outdoor leadership group on campus. We're a little different from the Outdoors Club, though we're like cousins. And so we basically take different groups on campus out rock climbing, caving, canoeing, high ropes course, low ropes course, and design experiences for them to bond, get closer together, and meet any goals that they give us ahead of time. In addition to that, we also lead a Bible study on Monday nights.
What responsibilities do you have for the Bible study?
Yeah, so for the Bible study this year, I am co-leading with Andrea Timbone, who unfortunately couldn't make it tonight. And so we got to choose kind of what the theme was going to be, how we were going to split that up. And from there, we kind of are the fallback and like make sure that we provide materials and anything else that anybody needs when they lead, because our whole team rotates through 2 at a time to lead throughout the semester.
Awesome. So when and how did you become involved in the Bible study?
So my freshman year, I went to Bible study every week. I came and just like felt like I was at home where I was supposed to be and just fell in love with it. And so continued going. The next year, joined the Loft team, and so I would help lead Bible study. And then kind of coming back, this is my junior year, different people on the team have different, more specific leadership roles on the team, and so that's how I got to be kind of leading Bible study.
Awesome. So when did the Bible study start? Like, when did you create it?
So the Bible study has been going on for, I think, about as long as the Loft has been around.
Oh, okay, so long before.
Yeah,
okay.
so long before I've been around, so like 20-something years.
Wow.
It actually used to be called Who's Zooming Who, and it used to be more of a study on like kind of what's going on in pop culture and how that applies to our faith, which is not what you think of when you think of the Loft today, which is way more outdoorsy. And then over time, there was actually 2 different Loft teams at one point, one that was more in charge of Bible study and one who did the outdoor stuff. And then once Wendell Witter came, he kind of changed it up and turned it into Loft on Lead Bible Study, which is what we have today. And so it's much more focused as like a book study and just really intentional about like making sure our community is involved with that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned that it's been going on for a really long time. I was going to ask, like, why was the Loft chosen as the space? But I'll change the question around a little bit. Do you do Bible study inside and outside too, since like the Loft's all about being outdoors?
Yeah, so it really depends on the night and who's leading. Most of the time we'll do it in the great room, but it just depends on who's leading and whether or not they want to go outside. We usually do some kind of activity at the beginning that connects to what we're going to be talking about, just to kind of make it more active and interactive. And oftentimes, especially when in warmer months, it'll be outside. So,
awesome. Yeah. That sounds amazing, having a Bible study outside.
Yeah, no, it's so good. It's so fun.
So do you implement, I know like some of the core ideas of the Loft that you mentioned are like just team bonding and leadership. How do you implement some of that into the Bible study?
Yeah. So we, later on in the school year, will provide opportunities for people who aren't on the team, because you have to apply to be on the team, to come and join us. And that's how we kind of provide like an opportunity for other people to get involved in the leadership aspect. But team bonding, like I said, we do the activity at the beginning, and that really provides a way to break the ice and just have people get to know each other better. Oftentimes we'll have something that gets people talking to each other about real life. And then doing stuff together, and then we'll break into small groups, and then so you have a more concentrated way to like talk with a smaller group, because we can sometimes have a lot of people there. So
that's great.
Yeah.
So do you focus on a specific topic when you get together for Bible study, or is it just wherever the conversation goes?
So typically, for as long as I've been at Messiah, we've chosen a book of the Bible during the semester. So this year we're focusing on 1 Samuel, which is actually the first time we've done an Old Testament book since I've been here. And then usually over J-term we'll have like worship nights or have more of a theme kind of thing, just for those couple weeks, and then return to doing more of a book study for the rest of the semester.
What other books have you done so far while you're here?
Oh my goodness. We have done, let's see, I think we did Ephesians, we did James, a lot of New Testament stuff. I don't know if I can remember all of them off the top of my head, but yeah.
Awesome. Do you do any other like book series outside of the Bible books, or is it just specifically geared towards books of the Bible?
We usually just do books of the Bible.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So what is a typical, you explained that you break off into small groups, but what is a typical Bible study like?
Yeah, so again, it's really different depending on who's leading it, but typically we'll have kind of a get to know you thing as people are coming in the door. Then once it gets to 8:30 when we start, we kind of do an activity, and then we'll kind of do a recap of what's happened so far. And then from there, it becomes pretty variable depending on the night, but we'll tend to read through the book or look at a specific passage and talk about it a lot. Sometimes we'll have times for more like individual like reflection or prayer or something like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you talked about applying for leadership, but can anyone that feels called to lead the Bible study, can they do that?
Yeah, so again, anybody can apply. It doesn't really matter who you are. If you feel called to do that, absolutely. But in the spring, we provide like more opportunities for people to sign up to lead. But the rest of the year, it's usually just people on the team.
Awesome. So when and how do you meet? Or when and how often do you meet? I'm sorry.
That's a good question. So we meet on Monday nights. So I'm going to probably go from here to there. But we meet from 8:30 to 10 in the Loft Great Room. And so, yeah, and it's every week. So.
Every week? Every Monday night?
Every Monday night.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. When we come back, we'll have Josh Stanley and Travis Porterfield from the Digital Media Senior Seminar Constellation. So stick around after the break.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cue.
This is the Grantham Community Garden. We grow over 40 different crops here, all grown organically, all by students, always student-led. We're one of the most profitable student organizations on campus. Everything that we grow here we sell, and that keeps the garden going and also pays the people who work in it. And now we're trying to work our way towards being a small farm. We have more paid student workers than we've ever had before.
My name is Macy Thornton. I'm a senior and I'm a public relations major. I was initially drawn to the public relations major because I've always been great with people and the skills are very transferable. One thing that's definitely unique to Messiah is that they teach from a Christian perspective, and I've been able to use that in internships and those types of opportunities. The professors are great, they're very approachable, and they genuinely want to see you succeed. I'm involved in athletics in that I'm on the Messiah women's basketball team, and it's been one of the most enriching experiences of my life. I'm in a class called Senior PR Campaign, and we're working for an actual nonprofit organization off campus, so we're helping them with some PR related things, and it's just really great to actually put theory into practice and to feel like you're making a difference even though you're still in school. And I also had the opportunity to do an internship with a minor league baseball team. PR practitioners have to conduct themselves ethically. They have to have integrity. They have to be honest and transparent with the people they work with. So ethics is a big part of public relations. I believe Christian PR practitioners are called to hold themselves to a higher standard because of their beliefs, and that should show in their professional life. I feel very prepared with regard to the experiences I've had, the internship opportunities I've had, and the knowledge I have that the PR major has given me and the skills I've attained through it. What?
We're back here on MC77 with Josh Stanley and Travis Porterfield, who took part in the creation of Constellation. How are you doing tonight, guys?
Pretty good.
That's great. So what are your roles in this project?
Yeah, so I am the project director, or the creative director for the project overall.
And I'm the director of the films in the project.
Awesome. So what did you do as the creative director?
Yeah, so my role essentially is to oversee all the different aspects. So as part of the project, we have, it's a live exhibition as well as having these film aspects. So overseeing the design team, the business team, the interactive team, and their creative vision of the project, and making sure all those things tied together, as well as working with Travis and the film team to kind of tie all those things together.
Awesome. And what did your role include?
Yeah, so the whole project is about an experience, an exhibition that we'll have on December 6th. And I was the director of the films that are a key part of the exhibition that will be shown during that time, that people will have a chance to view in different spaces and then respond to them as after they see them.
Awesome. So how many other team members do you have?
Yeah, there's 16 of us, as well as our faculty advisor who's guiding us in that.
Can you give a little bit more about their roles, as much as you can?
Yeah, so the cool thing about this project and the exhibition itself, it's not just December 6th and that date. There's a lot of other aspects to it, and it ties into our major. And so our major is interdisciplinary, so there's 3 different aspects to it. So we have the communications side, which is the film, digital video and story. There's also interactive design, and then game and app design. So we have people in CIS department and design as well. So there's those different aspects doing those types of things. So we have people who are coding and working on our website, as well as the interactive aspects to the project. We have our design team that is doing tons of designs, not just for our website, our social media, which people can follow at Constellation EXP, and as well as all the signage that we have. They're right now printing like hundreds of signs and logos and things like that for the exhibition itself. And then we have our film team, and then our business and marketing side as well. So there's a lot of different pieces.
How did you step into the roles? Were you just assigned, or did you like choose them?
Yeah, so there's a creative process where we kind of decided for ourselves first what the topic of our project would be, and the one prompt that we had was that we had to address a problem in the world. So we went through a large brainstorming process, and then once we decided on our topic, we kind of talked about what kind of roles we would want to fill.
Right. Yeah, so based on what we ended up deciding on was based on different people who were best fitted for those roles. So some were natural fits. So naturally, this person's very good logistically, so they're going to work with this. Or naturally, this person has this vision for how this specific area should work, and then we would work to fit them into that area the best way we could.
Awesome. So you talked about like your long brainstorming process, but what inspired you to pick this topic?
Yeah, so it started with this idea where we were noticing, this is one of our buzzwords was cognitive dissonance, like this dissonance between what people believed and the way people acted in the way they lived out their lives. And it's not specifically religious or any, it's just general idea of belief in action. And so that's, so we decided we really want to work with this idea of how can we explore how beliefs and actions are connected. And then that connectedness led to the idea of constellation. And that's what our title is really about. It's about how beliefs tie into all of these different aspects of our lives and connect us in a lot of different ways.
That's awesome. So what preparations have you, what kind of preparations have you done for it?
Yeah, I mean, Travis can talk about the hours of filming and all that stuff.
I mean, all the teams have done a really great job, like working tirelessly. Our film team specifically has done a lot of pre-production and planning and script writing and kind of fleshing out what the films actually structurally would look like. And so we decided to have interviewees along with a more abstract fiction aspect that goes along with the interviewee and kind of the topic that they spoke into. So we had a lot of pre-production and planning and then hours of working together on set to either interview or film scenes that we could put together. And now we're just finishing up the editing process. And have been working tirelessly. Tonight, some people are in the lab right now, kind of finalizing things, and we're gonna go over there after this and take a look.
Yeah, and in addition to that, he mentioned like we have all of the design preparations that had to be done, the website building that we mentioned, as well as building the actual spaces. Like Travis had mentioned, like people are watching these films, but we're building essentially spaces that don't exist. Where these films took place. So for example, there's a mom who's talking about how her family is connected with community and all of that. And so we're building a living room. So we have to get all of the furniture, we have to get all the signage, we have to get all that stuff and construct a living room in Boyer. So which doesn't exist, yeah.
Well, I believe in your abilities. Your living room. I was just about to ask, like, can you give a clue about an element in the exhibit, or are you sworn to secrecy? But you already did.
Yeah, so some of it we want to keep secret, but essentially we're following 3 people and their stories about growth, crisis, and community, and how those 3 aspects made a huge difference in someone's belief and how that affected the way they saw themselves or saw something else or saw religion or saw whatever it might be.
And so once the audience walks through the exhibit, what do you hope that they get out of it, or what do you want them to talk about when they leave?
Yeah, one of the things we're most excited for is there's a interactive element to it. That's one of the big things about digital media that we love so much. So after each space, it's not just walk to the next space. There's a time of reflection, and there'll be a time where they can write on their phones a response, share a story of something that affected them in a similar way to the stories, and then taking all those stories and we're going to unite them together in that final exhibition where people can look up and they can see all of these stories of things that happened like to the people right around them and in their own community. And kind of explore for themselves. We want people to ultimately walk away exploring how do my beliefs affect the rest of my life, affect the way I think about things, etc.
That's awesome. So now on a more personal level, how do you think this project has equipped you for the real world once you graduate?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely learned a lot what it means to work in a long-term project in a team. Because in our major, we often work in teams together on projects, but this has been such a long process where there were defined roles and we had defined teams, and it was a company essentially that worked together, the whole class, it was a whole system. So just that alone has been an awesome experience, learning how to navigate that sort of teamwork.
Awesome.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you said it exactly. What I was going to say. The idea of working essentially like a small company and how a company would work together. And a lot of my role was working with all these different teams and aspects. And that's what's cool about the major is you get to learn these different aspects and work with these different types of people that don't necessarily do the same thing you do.
Right.
So that was really cool to like, there were some people I had never really worked with, or I hadn't gotten a chance to work on a project like this with so many different people and with different skills and kind of melding that together.
That's awesome. So have you done any other projects similar to this, or is this kind of like the big first project?
Yeah, I mean, for the digital media majors, this is the first semester-long project in class that we do. And I mean, all of us have been working together on either personal projects and just building our portfolios. That's kind of the nature of the major. But this is the first formally set out time that we've worked on a project of this scale. So we're pretty excited for the result. Yeah.
Should be amazing. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
What is one memory that you will take with you from your major when you graduate?
Oh, wow. I think this project is going to be a big one. I mean, working on a project of this scale with this group of people is a really amazing thing. And there's so many other pieces of projects that I've worked on, and late nights in the editing lab, or you know, shooting films where you get locked in a room or whatever, like those types of fun memories. But this project is unique in that way, and I'm very excited for Friday because people coming through it's going to be a really awesome, like, I don't think people are ready for how, like, what this project is. So we definitely like want people to come out and experience this, because we've been working a long time on this, and it's going to be really cool, and people are going to not want to miss it.
Yeah.
Nice.
For sure. Yeah, I would agree. This project is definitely one of the biggest memories that I'll take away. I mean, I love all my team members, and the whole major has worked really hard on it. I'm just excited. Once again, like Josh said, I don't think people are ready for the grandiosity of this project.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what advice do you have for someone who's looking to be a digital media major?
Yeah, my advice is always just be working on projects. Like, people always want, the people who go through classes, complete the projects, and don't do anything else, you're missing so much of this experience. Like, the fact that I've been able to work on projects outside of class, even this project, we work so much time outside of your normal class hours, but really just do work, you know, like, be willing to try stuff, be willing to fail, be willing to like make something awesome or something terrible and learn from it.
Great advice.
Yeah, I would say definitely don't doubt yourself, and don't be afraid to push into things even when you don't necessarily know what you want to create, or you don't know what it'll look like in the end. Don't be afraid to take risks, and even if you have that desire to create, because I think a lot of us, that's why we're attracted to the major in the first place, push into that desire and don't let it go, even when you're not working on a class project or something. Just go the extra mile, figure out your niche and what you love, and then take hold of it and run with it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Great advice. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on our show.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing your project and all your hard
very
work.
much.
Yeah,
Awesome.
everybody should come out on Friday.
Friday, yes.
Another shameless plug. Love it.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, after the break, we'll have Sean Sukum and Nahar here from Ambassadors to let us in on what they do around campus, so stick around.
Staring contest.
You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
My name is Natalie Moy. I'm a senior and I'm a digital media major.
I feel like the classes here have helped me to train my eye to detect good design. I like how the professors don't force you into one way of thinking. Instead, they allow you to be creative and think of projects in your own way, and they will guide you and help you envision your project to make it even better and stronger. I have this one professor who starts off his classes with prayers, and I feel like that's really great because it starts us off reminding us that We are creating something for God, so we have that in our minds to create something that He will be pleased with. In my portfolio, I have quite a large variety of works. I have design-based works, I have photography, I have videography. One of the big projects I'll be expecting in my portfolio would be from the junior-senior film class that I'm taking this semester. I'll be the production designer for this short film, and I'm looking forward to work with my crew because they're all awesome people. Messiah has this media hub called The Pulse, so I've been working for them for the past few months, and you can do stuff like designing, photography, videography, the radio station, and you can even design websites, write articles. I think it's a really great opportunity for me to get my work out there. I'm a designer, so people on campus or even off campus get to see what I do, and I think that's really great. So if you're a digital media student, you could go into computer science fields, or you could go into the film industries or graphic design. I guess it's the beauty of digital media, it's just so versatile.
It's a big responsibility.
Oh, it's huge. I know, it's huge.
And the salary.
Oh my god, yes.
Right?
I mean, like, I was about to move in with my parents, and right before, yeah, so this saved me.
I really believe in you, you know?
Thank you. It's nice to hear that from someone.
These are cool. Did you, what did you?
We're back here in MC 77 with Ambassadors Recruitment and Events Director Sean Sukum and Aknahar. How's it going, Sean?
Going well, Brian. Good to be here.
Good, good. Glad that you're here.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit about what the ambassadors actually do on campus?
Yeah. So the funny thing is the ambassadors have kind of like a rap of being like the tour guides of Messiah, and that's what people always see us do. That is one of the biggest responsibility we have is interacting with hundreds of prospective students and families when they come for event days. We have the admissions office put on at least 4 event days, regardless if it's open house, spotlight days, acceptance students. Previous days, there are always about 4 to 5 throughout the semester. And our job essentially is to greet them when they get in at 8 a.m., standing out in the cold, in the snow, in the rain, whenever, just making them feel welcome to campus, talking with them and just socializing, getting to know them, because the ambassadors are kind of like the representative of Messiah. And for most families, when they come to Messiah, they only have like a couple hours because they also have a busy schedule. So we are like the limited chance. It's like the limited chances meet with students, basically. And we are the students that they meet, they interact with. We give tours, show them our beautiful campus, answer any questions, essentially just making them feel welcome and giving them a lot of knowledge about the campus because they are choosing, you know, where they want to go for their higher education. It's an important process.
Right, yeah, absolutely. So your role as the events coordinator, like what do you do that's different than the other
leaders? Yeah, so I'm one out of 5 leaders who basically plan out all the different events with ambassadors from the ambassador side of it, working with the admissions office and their full-time staff. My role specifically is specifically for our 4 event days, so like 2 open houses and 2 spotlight days during this fall semester. We've had all 4 already. My job is to make sure all the ambassadors are on time, they know what they're doing. I handle out tasks and responsibilities, so I coordinate all the different jobs they need to do, where they need to be. I am the person who dismisses out all the tours, so we normally have about 3 to 4 tour slots throughout the day, all dispersing through Eisenhower Campus Center, and I make sure that whoever's supposed to give a tour at 2 o'clock is all there and ready to go by the time we get all the families lining up, because easily in an hour we could be, you know, giving probably 20, 30 families, so that's like a couple hundred individuals on a given day tours throughout the week.
Wow.
Yeah.
So a lot of people.
There's a lot of people, yeah. We just added up the numbers recently after all our event days has ended. We gave about 800 about 800 individuals like tours
Wow.
to 800 people throughout the year, the semester alone.
Wow. And how many ambassadors are there to give those tours?
Currently, we have about 80, 82 ambassadors on our program right now.
So it's a little bit spread out, so you don't have,
Yeah.
like, you're not.
No, I'm not giving a lot of the tours. No, I did my fair share of a lot of tour giving when I first started 2 years ago. And now that I'm part of the leadership team, I do most of the behind the scenes work and let the new ambassadors, that's when now they're like the main tour guides.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So why did you originally get involved with the ambassador program?
Yeah, that's a great question. I love being around people. I love meeting new people, and like I'm all about networking. And one ways I realized one avenue for me was to meet prospective students, because at one point we were all prospective students, and I know that was for a lot of people was very scary and challenging process, and I wanted to kind of help people through that. So meeting students, hosting them overnight is also a big thing that we do. Just talking to them about their major that they want to choose, why they want to come beside, what they're looking for, and a place to call home for the next 3 to 4 years. That was something that really impacted me because I could make a difference, and that's why I joined the Ambassadors Program.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you said that you got involved because you love being around people and you love having that opportunity to really like influence people.
Yeah.
Can you give me another what else is your favorite thing about being part of the ambassador program?
Well, that's my favorite. It's definitely like obviously meeting prospective students and their families is a big part, but also getting to know the ambassadors in that program itself, because that's like 81 other people that I've either never met, and now I have the chance to meet them and get to know them. We have fun events throughout the semester. We're actually going to Hershey Park as a group this Friday night to Candyland, so I'm excited to meet. I know there's some ambassadors who signed up on that I've not really had a chance to fully interact with throughout the semester because it's been busy on everyone. So all those little events that we have this time to just meet new people, meet new students, catch up with them. When I first became an ambassador my sophomore year, the leader at that time, Todd, he became sort of a mentor to me, and just checking up on me, making sure that my semester was going okay, that I was filling out my commitment requirements and all of that. And so just the relationships I get to build within the program itself was like something that I really wanted to take advantage of.
All about the people.
All about people. Definitely a people person there.
Heck yeah. So you said that there were 5 leadership positions.
Mm-hmm.
What are the other leadership roles?
Yeah. So I'm lucky enough, I work with a group of amazing, very strong and encouraging women. All 4 of them, their positions are mentorship and training director, diverse community involvement and diversity director, overnight host director, and I think they're named 3. One more that I'm missing out. Oh yeah, communications director. So and myself, I'm the recruitment events director. So we kind of handle 5 different aspects of the program throughout the entire academic year, from recruitment to communication with our blog posts that we send out to ambassadors, just communicating all the fun events, announcements, sign-ups, and all of that. Our overnight director handles our overnight visits. We host a couple hundred students like overnight during the semester. A lot of them, when they want to come to Mclive for an event day, they come the night before to just stay on campus, get a feel for what's like living on a college campus and seeing what a typical college night looks like. So that is a big, big part of our ambassador program as well. So that she does that. We have a lot of community involvement with different clubs and organizations that we're really digging into this semester, and hopefully the campus and the student body will see the fruits of that work that we've been putting in next semester and the year coming.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So we have a question from YouTube.
Okay.
Kylie asked, what is the most challenging part of being an ambassador?
Oh, what is the most challenging part? I would say the most challenging part is definitely committing and doing your best at it, because we are all students. We all have classes, 15, 18 credits. We have other commitments. So like sometimes it's really hard to commit to what you sign up to do, whether it's standing outside in the snow, in the rain, at 8 a.m. in the strong wind trying to greet people and putting a smile on that face, even though you can't really feel that face. Sometimes that gets challenging, but for me, like, I always have to remind myself why I'm doing it. And then making sure that I have time, an hour or 2 a day in my busy schedule to go and give a tour, take a break from homework, take a break from all the different like meetings and stuff like that, and telling people I can't hang out because I got to go give a tour to a random family that I've never met, saying no to some things just so I could commit to it. That is sometimes the hardest part because everyone has a life. But this, again, reminding myself why I'm doing it. At the end of the day, I end my tour and I'm always smiling. So
That's awesome. It's
yeah.
all about the smiles.
It's all about smiles, making people feel welcome. That's who we are.
Absolutely. So how has being an ambassador added to your Messiah experience?
That's a great question. I think I'm going to use a word that a lot of people hear way too often. It's the word community here, because I've made a lot of friends that I would never have through the if it wasn't for the program. I also got to know a lot of the students who came in. Like, there have just been times where I just feel like, you know, everyone has those days or those seasons throughout the semester where you just feel like whatever you're doing is not noticeable by people, or it's not worth what you're doing, and that you should just, like, end of the day, go back to your room and just do your own thing. But then I walk into Lottie and someone walks past me and say, "Hey, you were my tour guide. You gave me my tour when I was a junior in high school and a senior in high school. Now I'm here." I've met some guys who are like, "Hey, you hosted me, remember?" I was like, "Of course I remember. You stayed in my room one night." You know, and those little interactions I got with people walking around campus, it just again reminds me that I did make a difference. And I've had parents come up to me saying, "It was you who kind of sealed the deal." Like, I've had families literally after giving a tour, and I shook their hands and said, "Well, now you get to go lunch. This is Lottie." And they asked, "Where are we going to pay our deposit? Because we know we want to come here." And so it's those moments that I'm just speechless. I'm like, this is why I do it. And what I do does matters. It may not matter to people on campus, but it matters to the families who want to, you know, spend the next 4 years of their life in Messiah.
Yeah, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So we have another question from YouTube.
Okay.
From the Hogan Booms. What kind of training do the ambassadors go through?
Training, that's a great question. So when the semester starts in August or early September, ambassadors come back to campus, move in after the summer about a day or two, and we go to 2 days of training where we go through all the different rules that they have to abide by, the commitments, like how many overnights you have to sign up for, how many tours you need to give, and how many greetings you need to sign up and stuff like that. Just a level of commitment that we expect from all ambassadors. We also we go through the script. We have a book, it's 14 pages long, and it talks about almost every single thing of Messiah. It's a 14-page long script that we rehearse and practice and practice and practice, and then we give a tour. We have to make all of that information into 1 hour walking tour. And so we got to walk, we literally got to think on your feet, and you know, that's one of the challenges, and that's what we rehearse a lot is every new ambassador would have to give 2 practice tours to one of the 5 leaders or their mentors who has been ambassador for at least a full year, so they're mentoring the new ones. We teach them about like some social media trainings. Being an ambassador, you represent the college, and a lot of what you post online, people would think, or the families that you've met would follow you, send you a friend request on Facebook and all of that. What they see is what they think Messiah is. And so we teach them about social media, diversity, inclusivity. Those trainings are all packed into that 2 days worth of training. And then throughout the semester, our mentorship and training director, Emily, she keeps up in contact with all the new ambassadors, especially for their first semester, first year, making sure they're abiding by it, making sure they're practicing if they have any questions and stuff like that. So I would say it's always an ongoing training. Sometimes people, they're just not sure it's something, they'll come into the office and ask us some questions before an event day. This semester was the first time we started having Spanish tours, so we had to write the entire tour script, take everything, make it in Spanish, so that was a lot of work as well. But that happened kind of last year, and now we're really implementing it this year. So we've had to give like a couple Spanish tours right now, and we're really seeing the fruit of it. So that took a lot of training for our Spanish speaking tour guides as well.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I never would have thought that.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a lot of information.
Yeah, so going off of that, how can students get involved if they're like
Oh, yeah.
really wanting to be an ambassador.
Yeah. So part of my job is also handling recruitment, so that I directly oversee how we get new ambassadors. So in the spring, in March, we send out a mass email to students. So look out for that. We send out sometimes we have posters or just flyers around, just saying, hey, we're going to have an info meeting. So we have an info meeting. Normally we do in Parma Cinema, just talking about the basics of what being an ambassador will look like. This is what you kind of have to commit with. This is what you do. And this is the training they will provide for you. The rest is really you have to take the step. And they can apply. Application is all online. I review the application with my supervisors. I read everyone's testimony. I read why they want to be ambassador, why they love Messiah. It's a lot of great stories that I have the privilege of reading. And we go to group interviews, then individual interviews, and myself and the leaders with our supervisors from the admissions office will make the final decision. But everything in terms of recruitment starts March onwards.
Wow, so long process.
It is a long, yeah, it's about a month and a half process of everything, sometimes 2 months depending on time and like how many people apply. But we've been really lucky of getting really good quality students who just love Messiah and want to share that love with new students coming in.
Yeah. So look out for the interviews in March.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you so much for coming, Sean.
No problem.
After the break, we will have Caleb McClanahan-Schlepp and Emily Kauser from the Adventure Ed program here to tell us about their wilderness trips.
My name is Arkel Brown. I am a senior communication major here at Messiah College. Within our community, honestly, it's like one big family. Everyone relies on each other to get certain projects done. You know you can depend on other people within the communications department. Throughout the years, my skill set has completely evolved. I was actually able to do color commentating for the men's basketball last season, so it was pretty fun. I take pride in these extracurricular programs. I am the student assistant basketball coach for the women's basketball team. This year is my 4th year working with them. They've really become another family here for me on campus, and it just made me adapt so easily. And basketball is something I've always loved, so it was natural. The interactions between professors and students here are amazing, honestly. I couldn't ask for any better interactions with my professors. They're so caring, they're so loving, they're generous, and they're always open to anything you have to say or any questions that you have. They really want to be there for you. My Christian faith is everywhere in the classes, whether it's being through prayer before classes or having devotion. It's always tied in with our Christian faith. Like, we have to be honest. We have to know we have to keep God first in every situation and know that without God, we wouldn't even have the opportunity to be where we are. It definitely keeps us grounded. And I think Messiah has taught me so much about myself within the communication department, as how I relate to people, how people relate to me. We understand each other's differences. And I think I'll be ready for the real world once I graduate.
Hi there. You might wonder what a famous Hollywood celebrity like me is doing reading in the dark. Is this some new sort of Hollywood method acting? No, this is quite real.
Did you know that Americans use about 4 times as much energy per year as the global average? We waste energy left and right, despite the fact that the dirty fossil fuels we use to power our energy sources wreak havoc on the natural world and destroys valuable wildlife habitats.
By reading with my solar-powered night vision goggles, I'm saving energy and looking sleek.
You don't have to sit in the dark like Ed Begley Jr. to save the world. Fight climate change by speaking up for cleaner, smarter energy, including rooftop solar.
Oh, that's way better. Oh.
Do your part and find out other world-saving tips at betterthaned.org.
We're back here on MC77 with Caleb McClanahan-Schlepp and Emily Kauser, leaders from the Adventure Ed Wilderness Trips. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
I'm good.
Good. Did I get your name right this time?
Yeah.
Sorta.
Close enough. It's a hard name.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. So what are your responsibilities during these wilderness trips?
So we're broken up into leadership teams of 3 or 4 students, and so we are taking care of every detail associated with running a wilderness backpacking trip. That's everything from planning to recruiting people to go on the trip to budgeting to actually leading the trip in the field, teaching every skill needed to backpack, and some trips are including canoeing. Just all of those details are figured out by us and facilitated by us.
Wow, so you have a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah.
Could you tell me a little bit about what the wilderness trip in the spring is going to look like?
Yeah, so we're actually leading 5 different trips in groups of 3 per leadership team. And so we are going to the Chattahoochee National Forest, which is kind of in the Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina area. And so different trips are backpacking. A few trips might include a day of canoeing along with that. And we each kind of have a different theme that we're trying to explore throughout the week, using the wilderness as a tool to kind of engage in community and learn about different areas, particularly focusing on spiritual growth.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. So when are these trips?
They'll be over spring break.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So for the entire spring break block, we'll be heading down there, backpacking, and having a grand old time.
Huh? And you guys brought some brochures and a poster here along with you?
These, if you see these around campus, that's what they're about our trips.
So keep a lookout around campus for the posters and the brochures as well. If you guys are interested, pick up a brochure and get in contact with these guys. So how much are these trips going to cost? I see that it has it on the poster. But
Yeah, so the trips will cost $289, but if you sign up before the last day of classes in December, you can get a $30 discount on your trip.
a little bit of added incentive there.
It is.
Yeah.
And what do you foresee the students gaining from going on these trips?
That'll depend on the trip that they signed up to go on. We have trips that are ranging from focusing on rest and renewal and wanting people to feel spiritually and physically rested, all the way to like my trip is more focused on doing hard things together. I'm leading an all men's trip, and so one of the thematic elements is like vulnerability and pushing yourself, and so with that trip you're going to grow more on that side of things. And talk a little bit about.
Yeah, so my trip is called Liturgy of the Wilderness, and we're exploring kind of the ordinary parts of our daily lives and how we might connect with God or find sacred moments kind of in ordinary patterns.
We have an all-girls freshman trip called Tea Time with Jesus. I have not been a part of kind of planning that one. Do you understand what that one's about?
Yeah, so Tea Time with Jesus is for a specific floor, I believe, in Noggle that is kind of working to grow closer together as a floor through the wilderness.
And then the final trip's True North, and that one's focused on kind of life direction and what's giving your life direction.
Okay, so very, very deep elements.
And it's kind of all across the board.
Yeah. So we have a question from YouTube. Kylie asked, what do you want to do with your major?
That's a great question. I would love to do some sort of mentoring, and I want to invest in other people, specifically college-age people. There are a variety of different things I could do that in. I could work in a camp and like mentor staff. I could work at a college, helping run an outdoor program there. College ministry, campus ministry programs, gap year jobs are available, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I'm planning to go into ministry, so I plan to go to seminary after I graduate and use adventure as a tool to disciple people.
Oh, that's awesome. So do you have like a Christian ministry minor here?
I'm a double major, adventure ed and biblical and religious studies.
Oh, wow. So a lot on your plate.
Yes.
So we have another question from YouTube. This one's from Ned. What is the best adventure trip that you've ever been on?
Let's see. I got to go backpacking my sophomore year for the first time in the Texas wilderness. That was my first backpacking experience, and I've fallen in love with it since and had a great time. I also, on that trip, got to canoe on the Rio Grande for the first half of the trip, and that also made me fall in love with canoeing. It was amazing.
Yeah, I was also on the Texas trip, and yeah, one of the most transformative months of my life. Just showed me how great God is and taught me a lot about myself, and experienced really authentic community.
Wow. Very, very deep. Seems like you guys look within a lot.
Yeah.
And it really helps you to grow. So looking back to your trips here in the spring, are there any like preliminary requirements for students who are wanting to go?
We will take anyone on our trip. There are no requirements aside from the one trip's just for freshman girls, and my trip is just for guys. It's an all-guy trip. But other than that, anyone's welcome. You don't have to have any experience backpacking. We will take care of teaching you anything you need to know.
Nice and easy.
Yep.
So how do the students get involved with this?
So you can sign up in person at the SILP desk, which is in the top floor of the Union, or you can sign up electronically using Venmo. To get more information about that, you can email adventureprograms@messiah.edu, and we can send more information about that process.
That information, too, is on the poster.
So keep a lookout for the posters around campus as well as the brochures. So thank you guys so much for coming today. And also thank you to Loft Bible Study leader Caitlin Beam and to Josh Stanley and Travis Porterfield from the Digital Senior Seminar Constellation, as well as Sean Sukum and Aknahar from Ambassadors for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to tune in next Monday for Falcon Update at 7, or check out our YouTube channel for past campus news, interviews, and musical performances. Have a great night, everyone.
It's finally December, and with only 2 more weeks of classes, here are some light suggestions to keep your life stress-free. If you like video games, pick up Warcross by Marie Lu. Emeka Chen is a bounty hunter by day and gamer by night. Her skills developed out of a need to escape the real world, and the immersive world of Warcross is perfect for that. When she accidentally hacks her way into the Warcross Championships in front of millions of viewers, Emeka lands herself the opportunity of a lifetime to work with the game's creator. Together, they piece together the clues about who's trying to break the game. Released earlier this semester, Messiah artist Steven is only just starting his promising musical career with his first single, Heartstrings. With minimal instruments to emphasize the vocals, the song's clever use of trills and drums play along perfectly to make it feel like someone is actually tugging at your heartstrings, and the light complementary duet are a reminder of what it feels like to develop feelings for someone new. For an animated show, Avatar: The Last Airbender has one of the best storylines in television. Katara and Sokka stumble across the Avatar, a lost hero named Aang with the ability to bend all 4 elements. As they help Aang learn to bend all the elements at once and fulfill his destiny, the trio learn that there are other forces at play who are trying to force the Avatar onto a different path. We're all familiar with the hype around the original film, but Frozen 2 promises answers to the questions that we all had after watching the first movie. As Elsa searches for the source of her powers, she and Anna discover that they are the only ones who can save Arendelle and their loved ones. It might be cold outside, but there are plenty of people who swear by the relaxing effects they get from being outdoors during a walk. Bundle up with a warm jacket, gloves, and a hot drink in hand to keep you company as you enjoy the last of the leaves on the trees and the crisp winter air. That's all for this week's Daily De-Stressors. I'm Charmaine Lim.
I'm Lily. I am a junior, and I am a broadcasting and media production major at Messiah College. I chose to be a broadcasting and media production major because as a little girl, I dreamt of being a TV anchor. There are so many opportunities you can have as a broadcasting major. Messiah is really unique in the fact that we have our own TV station, and it's student-led, so each week we have Falcon Update, which is a half hour, and then we have MC Live, which is a half hour as well. My favorite part is just being in the hustle and bustle of everything, and I'm really excited to just be creative when I'm putting together news packages or shooting other stories, just really getting every element of storytelling in my work. So we have a lot of faith-based projects. Right now we're working on one, it's called Faith Sides for multimedia storytelling. In pairs we're interviewing each other for 2 minutes about some aspect of faith. A lot of students from our major either intern at ABC 27 or WGAL. I shadowed one of my professors at a Hershey Bears game. The Bears are a local AHL hockey team, and through that experience I developed connections, and eventually I got a job there. So I run the Crossfire machine and the LEDs on game days. My freshman year at Messiah, when I first came, I knew absolutely nothing about broadcasting or media, and now I feel confident that I can go work at a TV news station.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, cure.
Welcome back to MC77. Here's this week's campus calendar. This Tuesday, December 3rd, the Jazz Combo Concert will be held in the High Center from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. The ensemble will be directed by Todd Göransson. This event is free and open to the public. Starting December 6th, there will be an art exhibition featuring the works of Nora Sturgis entitled Postcards from the Unknown. The gallery will be held in Kleimenhege from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. On Friday, December 6th, there will be an artist talk and reception starting at 4:15 to all who are interested, held in the High Center's Recital Hall. This weekend kicks off the start of the 2019 Fall Senior Series. This weekend's show will be directed and performed by James Lim and featuring Rachel Lauver. It is entitled Aku Jelajahi, or I Will Travel. There will be shows on both December 6th and 7th at 8 p.m. and on December 7th at 3 p.m. This show will be held in the Grace Pollock Dance Studio in Kleimenhege. Please note that this show does contain mature content and viewer discretion is advised. Tickets are $5 and can be purchased at the ticket office. This show has been made, created, and will be presented by department seniors, so come out and support your fellow Falcons. Following that, on December 8th, the Messiah College Christmas Concert will be held in Palmer Hall from 7:30 to 9 p.m. Tickets are $3 for Messiah College students with an ID and can be purchased from the ticket office. This is a great way to kick off the official Christmas season. The concert will be including groups like brass quintets, handbells, men's and women's ensembles, and the concert choir, to name a few. That's all for this week's campus calendar. I'm Kelsey McCann.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But
I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.